It should have been 89 chapter of March Madness. This telecast is brought to you by the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. Whether you're on the court or off, milk, it does a body good. John Deere, recognizing basketball leaders, inviting you to see leadership at work with a whole new line of John Deere equipment. DeKalb Pfizer Genetics and the more than 850 Illinois DeKalb Pfizer dealers. And by the country companies and their more than 900 agents throughout Illinois. You've got the country behind you.
We're live at the Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana. As early spring moves into Illinois, so does March Madness as we present the 1989 Boys Class A State Basketball Championships. Hello again, everybody. I'm Frank Bassoni, and welcome to this great tournament. When we started this season, 468 teams were in the hunt for this title, and now there are 8, the Elite 8, including 6 of the top 10 teams rated in the state's final poll. In our first quarterfinal session today, we have 4 teams making their first appearance in the finals as East St. Louis Assumption, 24-7, challenges the Hawks of Prairie Central, 28-1. And then North Green takes on number 2 rated Carlisle at 28-3. Now with more on our first game, here are my colleagues, Art Kimball and Coach Ed Butkovich.
Thank you very much, Frank and Ed. Good to see you again. And boy, you and I really blend today, don't we? These sport coats are winners, and I think the tournament will be a much bigger winner.
Well, I don't know if these sport coats are winners or not, but we've got a lot of winners out here today, and it's great to be here this afternoon.
This is probably the most wide-open Class A tournament in history, isn't it?
Well, this is something else. I tell you what, just throw them in a little box and pick something out. Maybe you got a winner, maybe not. You don't know. There's some good ball clubs in here. We've had some teams that have been rated number 1 a couple times this year, so I look for an exciting tournament.
Actually, there is really no favorite. There's not a Providence St. Mel this year. But, of course, last year, Pana kind of snuck up on the field, too. And we have the same coach that took Pana to the title in Game 1 coming up shortly.
Well, we do, and Charlie's done a great job again this year. And he's turned the program in a good direction. And it looks like he's ready to play tonight. I hope that his boy is not, his injury doesn't bother him. But
yeah,
he's got a ball club that plays pretty tough defense and also gets the ball up and down the floor.
You've won this thing once. You've been a runner-up once. You finished 4th once at Mount Pulaski. What are coach's thoughts? First time in the Assembly Hall. That's the case for 5 of these ball clubs.
Well, I think first time in Assembly Hall, you just hope that you don't have a bad ball game the first time out. You hope that you get settled down early in the game.
So that's the big concern, and you want to do what you've done all season long, right?
What you've done all year long, and hope that that's the best that particular afternoon.
Yeah, it should be a great tournament, and we're certainly looking forward to it. And very, very shortly, this thing will unfold for 1989. Let's pause for these messages.
6 months ago,
Central High School, and Charlie, Ed Butkovich and I were just talking. You won it all at Pana last year. You're back with a new school and a brand new consolidation, and the club has only lost 1 ball game.
Yes, Art, that's right. We've had a fantastic year.
You have to really have looked upon this as a challenge. You took over a program, new consolidation. Obviously, you had some personnel.
Yes, we had some boys coming back and you would give the game all they had. The community, the school system wanted a program, and certainly the players that went out there and done everything I've asked of on Art.
Young Mr. Tidwell, your stepson, of course, is a key. He was the 6th man on your Pana club that won it last year, but he had a little blood poisoning problem. Tell us the story and his status for today.
Well, Art, we had to take him to the hospital night before last night. He had to miss practice. He had a shot. Had to take him back the next day. He had to miss practice and get a shot. But knowing him, I think he'll rise to the occasion, and hopefully he's ready to go full force.
I saw your win over at Dry Valley on Tuesday night at Redbird Arena. The press served you well. You jumped off to a big 24-3 lead at the quarter.
Yes, I would take that today, Art.
What about Assumption? Good leaping ball club.
Yes, Art, and what I see out of Assumption, they've got an all-around ball club. They run the floor extremely well, good leapers and good shooters.
Does this alter what you want to do at all?
They create some bubbles for us, Art, but at this time of year, you got to go ahead and do what you do best, so hopefully we can make an adjustment.
Yeah, we've been emphasizing that. You really don't change a whole lot at this point, do you, Charlie?
No, you can't change. You got to do what you can do and do what you can do best, Art.
Charlie, good luck to you. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Art. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Charlie Strasburger, the head basketball coach at Prairie Central. And Ronald Woods has joined us. Ronald, good to see you, and congratulations on a banner year.
Well, thank you very much. We're very proud to be here. It's for the kids, and they're psyched up. I'm psyched up, and we're just glad to be here again.
Let's see, this is what, your second year as a head coach?
Second year as head coach. Last year we went 17-7, and this is our second year in the last year, unfortunately.
Well, it is the last year for Assumption High School. I was saying you're giving yourself a tough act to follow no matter where you coach.
Well, you got to look at it that way. There are some coaching possibilities next year. We'll just have to weigh them one at a time.
I would be an error if I didn't ask you about that 3 overtime ball game with Florida that got you here.
We still talk about that game. I mean, the fellows, I said, let's never give up. With 6 seconds, we were down by 3. I said, it's not over, guys, until it's over. Never give up. Anything can happen in basketball, and we're here to prove that.
What about Prairie Central today?
Prairie Central's tough. We know they're tough. We know they play the pressure defense. We've got to handle that very well. We've got to execute. We're bigger. I think we can go underneath. We're going to have to exploit those avenues. And if not, we can shoot the ball from outside, as it was attested in the other night's game at Eastern Illinois University. So,
Ronald, good luck to you. Fine year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Ronald Woods, the head coach at East St. Louis Assumption. Now to the bench and Frank Bassoni.
Thank you very much, Art. East St. Louis Assumption Pioneers are 24-7 on the year. They edged Flora by 2 in triple overtime in the super sectional, and they hit 3-point shots at 3 different quarters at the buzzer in order to do that. Prairie Central has lost only 1. They're 28-1 on the season. Of course, from Fairbury, Illinois, and Livingston County, enrollment of 493. The Waseca Conference is their conference. The Scarlet and Gold of East St. Louis, 24-7. There's their enrollment. They're an independent, the Scarlet and Gold, in the last year of the school's existence, and their coaches say they've used that to a large motivational factor. This is both teams' first appearance ever in the state finals. We have the defending champion coach, Charlie Strasburger of Pana of last year, has moved to Prairie Central and is trying to become the first coach ever to win championships at 2 different schools back-to-back years. His star player, Gary Tidwell, his stepson, has had some health problems with blood poisoning. He is in uniform.
Pioneers of East St. Louis Assumption. First, introducing the Prairie Central Hawks from Fairbury, entering this game with a record of 28 wins and 1 loss. Let's meet the head coach in his first season at Prairie Central, Charlie Strasburger. Assistant coaches, Brad Crane, Tim McGuire, and Brad Byers. And now the players. Number 24, a 5'10 senior, Eric Hetherington. Number 25, a 6-foot senior, Phil Tetley. Number 30, a 5'11 senior, Kevin Kafer. Number 32, a 6'1 senior, Doug Miller. A 6'6 senior, John Pica. Number 44, a 5'11 senior, Doug Webble. And number 54, a 6'4 junior, Justin Cox. And now the starting lineup for the Hawks of Prairie Central. At 1 forward, a 6'2 senior, number 50, Dan Weber.
8 points and 7 rebounds.
At the other forward, a 5'10 junior, number 14, Darren Bazell.
Hit 6 out of 7 from the field in the super sectional.
At center, a 6'5 junior, 42, Dayton Cooperschmidt.
Their best rebounder, averaging 10.5 points a game.
Number 12, Gary Tidwell.
The coach's stepson, leading scorer on the team, 18.
And at the other guard, a 6-foot senior, 31, Robbie Meyer.
Exchange student from Italy, averaging 13 a game.
Those are the Hawks of Prairie Central. And now let's meet the Pioneers of Assumption High School of East St. Louis, entering this game with a record of 24 wins and 7 losses. Here is the head coach in his second season, Ron Woods. Assistant coach, Norman Sampson. And now the players. Number 10, a 6'2" junior, Damon Mason. Number 14, a 5'10" junior, Derek Howell. Number 30, a 6'3" junior, Almonte Shields. Number 32, a 6'1" junior, Shango Knight. Number 33, a 6'6" junior, Artagus Williams. Number 45, a 6'3" junior, Armandus Fisher. And number 51, a 6'2" senior, Vernon Slaughter. And now the starting lineup for Assumption. At one forward, a 6'5" junior, 43, Ronald Scott.
Shoots 64% from the field on the season.
At the other forward, a 6'5" senior, 34, Monteith Dixon.
Coach says my best player averages 17 a game.
At center, a 6'7" junior, 52, Ian Stanback.
Stanback averages 17 points and 17 boards.
At one guard, a 5'10" junior, number 11, Maurice Horton.
Playmaker shooting 56% from three-point range.
And at the other guard, a 6'2" senior, number 12, Malcolm Hill.
At 18 in the thriller in the super sectional.
Those are the Pioneers of East St. Louis Assumption. Game, Alan Merriman of Bluffs.
The officials are Alan Merriman of Bluffs. Robert Ware of Lincoln, Illinois. Will be back with Prairie Central and Assumption in the first quarterfinal. Now this from the Country Companies, proud sponsors of the IHSA telecast since 1972. Madness returns to the Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana with the Class A quarterfinals. Assumption and Prairie Central go first, followed by Whitehall, North Green, and Carlisle. Carlisle rated number 2 in the state. Those are today's first four. In the blue uniforms, trimmed in white, Prairie Central's Hawks. In the white, there's your matchups. In the middle, Cooper Schmidt is only 6'4.5" against Stanback 6'7", the size advantage to Assumption. Prairie Central plays with intensity, has two great outside shooters. The advantage on the blocks will go to the Pioneers. We're all set for action. Frank Gassoni joined by Coach Ed Butkovich, Art Kimball, and Jim Albrecht from Moline. And we start our first game.
With the violation. Has to tap the ball to someone else, and he caught it.
Full court pressure by the Pioneers to start. Dan Weber comes in the backcourt to help, nearly stripped and fouled.
Almost taken away there. Good defense, good trap.
Foul is on Maurice Horton, 11. He's a 5'10" junior guard.
We should have an up-tempo game. Both teams average about 78 points a ball game.
Tidwell lobs to Robbie Meyer on the baseline. His mother is here from Italy watching the game. Nice steal by Horton. Horton goes in. Step in for Dixon. Monteith Dixon.
Shows some great defense and some great quickness right there.
The quickness advantage will belong to Assumption.
Looks like possibly a 1-3-1 trap. Full court.
The coach said before the game to me, we can't believe we're here in the Elite Eight in the hall, and now all this is bonus. Inside. The Hawks try the first. It's no. Weber rebounds his block. Cooper Schmidt went up once, and Weber got the rebound.
Good offensive rebound by Weber. If you notice, the same thing that happened last year at Pana, offensive rebounding. They're doing the same thing here at Prairie Central. Charlie's done a great job again.
There's Ron Woods in his second year at Assumption. He's won 41 and lost 14. You know, this team, Assumption, averages 78 a game. Prairie Central 79.
Both the good defensive averages are down in the 50s, so both teams can play up-tempo game and they can play good defense at the same time.
First free throw by Weber is missed. He had 10 in the super sectional.
Frank, and that super Prairie Central turned things with a lethal full court press early. I don't think they can do that against Assumption this afternoon. They have to handle Assumption's press themselves.
Weber missed, but Meyer steps in on the rebound, is blocked nicely, and Standback picks it off. Hill comes up on the left. The Pioneers of East St. Louis Assumption. Coach says a big motivation is the fact that every game could be their last ever. The school will close at the end of this school year. Standback on the blocks, a 10-footer. Nice rebound inside. Turnaround one-hander is down by Ronald Scott.
We've seen already on both teams good board play. Both teams go well to the offensive boards.
The intensity level is there as you see Scott.
A lot of hang time there. Pretty excited after that basket, too.
6'5", 210, 17-year-old junior. 59% free throw shooter. One-hander is there. Assumption has jumped to a 5-0 lead at the start, and the Hawks try to get the lid off. They blew out to a 24-3 lead in their super sectional win over Tri-Valley. Skip pass to Meyer. He can shoot threes. He goes baseline and gives it up. Stolen by Maurice Horton. Ahead to the running Dixon, who will dunk. Whoa, and he missed it. Watch Dixon wind this up.
I know, watch this, but a lot of a lot of guts to stand in there and take that charge.
Great play by Gary Tidwell.
Great defensive play.
Foul number 2 on Dixon, too, Frank. Call for the charge after missing the dunk.
Fortitude right there.
Important. Darren Bazell, 14 to Tidwell, who looks for a shot. He shot 181 three-point attempts during the season. There's Meyer. The Hawks look for their first score. Meyer roams around the front. Tidwell to the left for a pop. Boom. It's a 3, and it's 5-3 just like that.
You never know what might happen, but you might go back to those two plays. The charge and then hitting the three-point play after you come out that. Taking the defensive charge might be a big key in this first quarter.
Standbacks outside too far. Horton and Hill, the guards. Horton wheels left and fires. Long rebound comes to the running Tidwell, and Prairie Central could get a tie. Or a lead with this one. Rebound Cooper Smith. Steps in, blocked by Standback. Dixon on the transition. Double dribble.
You know Assumption's going to try to run with the ball. They're getting it out real quick.
It's 5-3 Assumption, and one of the people down here along the press row is saying, watch the players, maybe they're cupping the ball and traveling a little bit more this year and getting away with it.
But I watched Steinbeck. It looked like he hurt his wrist just a second ago.
3 is Bazell. He's partially blocked, and Ronald Scott takes it down.
Didn't look like it on that block, though.
Horton gives it up to Hill. There's the pop from the corner. Rebound goes off Meyer to East St. Louis. This East St. Louis team has lost to some very good schools, including AA competition.
Losses this year to Trenton Weston. Great ball game, overtime game, down to Carlisle.
They're Standback inside and rolls in.
Beautiful pass inside.
Standback's a major college prospect, only a junior, 6'7", 210, and he's 16 years old. 4:45 to play in the opening quarter.
Frank, East St. Louis Assumption has lost to Quincy Notre Dame, twice to Venice, once to Trenton Westland, to St. Louis Solden, to East St. Louis.
Frank Bissoni joined by Coach Ed Butkovich, Art Kimball, and Jim Albrecht from Moline, and we start our first game
with a violation. Has to tap the ball to someone else, and he caught it.
Full court pressure by the Pioneers to start. Dan Weber comes in the backcourt to help, nearly stripped and fouled.
Almost taken away there. Good defense, good trap.
Foul is on Maurice Horton, 11. He's a 5'10" junior guard.
We should have an up-tempo game. Both teams average about 78 points a ball game.
Tidwell lobs to Robbie Meyer on the baseline. His mother is here from Italy watching the game. Nice steal by Horton. Horton goes in. Step in for Dixon. Monteith Dixon.
Shows some great defense and some great quickness right there.
The quickness advantage will belong to Assumption.
Looks like possibly a 1-3-1 trap. Full court.
The coach said before the game to me, we can't believe we're here in the Elite Eight in the hall, and now all this is bonus. Inside. The Hawks try the first. It's no. Weber rebounds, is blocked. Cooper Schmidt went up once, and Weber got the rebound.
Good offensive rebound by Weber. If you notice, the same thing that happened last year at Pana, offensive rebounding. They're doing the same thing here at Prairie Central. Charlie's done a great job again.
There's Ron Woods in his second year at Assumption. He's won 41 and lost 14. You know, this team, Assumption, averages 78 a game. Prairie Central 79.
And both good defensive averages are down in the 50s, so both teams can play an up-tempo game, and they can play good defense at the same time.
First free throw by Weber is missed. He had 10 in the super sectional.
Frank, in that super, Prairie Central turned things with a lethal full court press early. I don't think they can do that against Assumption this afternoon. They have to handle Assumption's press themselves.
Weber missed, but Meyer steps in on the rebound, is blocked nicely, and Standback picks it off. Hill comes up on the left. The Pioneers of East St. Louis Assumption. Coach says a big motivation is the fact that every game could be their last ever. The school will close at the end of this school year. Standback on the blocks, a 10-footer. Nice rebound inside. Turnaround one-hander is down by Ronald Scott.
We've seen already on both teams good board play. Both teams go well to the offensive boards.
The intensity level is there as you see Scott.
A lot of hang time here. Pretty excited after that basket, too.
6'5", 210, 17-year-old junior. 59% free throw shooter. One-hander is there. Assumption has jumped to a 5-0 lead at the start, and the Hawks try to get the lid off. They blew out to a 24-3 lead in their super sectional win over Tri-Valley. Skip pass to Meyer. He can shoot threes. He goes baseline and gives it up. Stolen by Maurice Horton. Ahead to the running Dixon, who will dunk. Whoa, and he missed that. Watch Dixon wind this up.
I know, watch this, but a lot of guts to stand in there and take that charge.
Great play by Gary Tidwell.
Great defensive play.
Foul number 2 on Dixon, too, Frank. Call for the charge after missing the dunk.
Fortitude right there.
Important. Darren Bazell, 14 to Tidwell, who looks for a shot. He shot 181 three-point attempts during the season. There's Meyer. The Hawks look for their first score. Meyer roams around the front. Tidwell to the left for a pop. Boom. There. Hits a three, and it's 5-3 just like that.
You never know what might happen, but you might go back to those two plays. The charge and then hitting the three-point play after you come out that. Taking the defensive charge might be a big key in this first quarter.
Standbacks outside too far. Horton and Hill, the guards. Horton wheels left and fires. Long rebound comes to the running Tidwell, and Prairie Central could get a tie. Or a lead with this one. Rebound Cooper Schmidt. Steps in, blocked by Standback. Dixon on the transition. Double dribble.
Now you know Assumption's going to try to run with the ball. They're getting it out real quick.
It's 5-3 Assumption, and one of the people down here along the press row is saying, watch the players, maybe they're cupping the ball and traveling a little bit more this year and getting away with it.
But watch Steinbeck. It looked like he hurt his wrist just a second ago.
3 is Bazell. He's partially blocked, and Ronald Scott takes it down.
Doesn't look like it on that block, though.
Horton gives it up to Hill. There's the pop from the corner. Rebound goes off Meyer to East St. Louis. This East St. Louis team has lost to some very good schools, including AA competition.
I've seen one of their losses this year to Trenton Westland. Great ball game, overtime game, down to Carlisle.
Their stand back inside and rolls in.
Beautiful pass inside.
Standback's a major college prospect, only a junior, 6'7", 210, and he's 16 years old. 4:45 to play in the opening quarter.
Frank, East St. Louis Assumption has lost to Quincy Notre Dame, twice to Venice, once to Trenton Westland, to St. Louis Solden, to East St. Louis Lincoln by 3, and to Chatham Glenwood.
And Lincoln will be trying for 3 AA titles in a row this year. Meyer comes to the left. In it goes to Cooperschmidt. Wheels on his center. Nice rebound Standback, who's owning the boards. Kick out pass way down to Hill. Hill 360s. Crowd thinks double dribble. No call. Defensive play by Dan Weber.
Tell you, Hill made a nice move in there on a reverse spin there going to the basket just a minute ago. Didn't get the bucket, but some good defense by Prairie Central.
Speaking of losses, the Hawks have lost only 1 game by 1 point all year. 72-71 to Clifton Central. Robbie Meyer is 31. There's your turnovers with Assumption with 3. The Hawks with a deuce. Tidwell needs a shot, gets it up, being fouled by Malcolm Hill.
Give him the pump. He gave him a good pump fake here and then got him up in the air and then took it right to him.
And that puts one of the better free throw shooters in the state at the line. He goes at 82.
I hope a lot of young kids were watching that, because that's a move that you try to get them to do, and unfortunately a lot of them don't want to do it. But going to his left, he used the left-hand dribble extremely well. And you'll find out of Charlie's boys that'll do a good job.
Almonte Shields checks into the game for Assumption as Tidwell drains it. 7-5 Pioneers. They have the ball. The pressure's on by the Hawks. They try a 1-2-2 full court trap. Pass baseline intended for Scott, and there's another turnover on the pressure.
The way both teams go up and down the floor, you'll probably see a lot of turnovers.
And Coach Ronald Woods of Assumption wants to stop play. He calls timeout at 3:53. It's a 2-point game in our first quarterfinal, and we'll be back after this. A huge crowd is still coming in at the Assembly Hall in the first quarterfinal. East St. Louis Assumption in the lead with 3:53 to go in the first quarter. You see the field goal percentage. There is a statistic. Only 2 down, 1 out of 9 for Prairie Central. Assumption at 38%.
That shows you what they're doing defensively, and then also causing some turnovers.
And that one was the 3-point shot by Tidwell. Good defense by both teams. Here's Tidwell wide open. Slides away from his man, is now covered. The Pioneers feel they need pressure on the perimeter, and they're getting it. In fact, they're getting it all over. Meyer tries to get free.
Good help on defense there.
Meyer lit it up for 29 against Watsika, against Keith Baldwin earlier this year. Keith called me and he says, this guy just is a magnificent 3-point shooter. Cooperschmidt comes out to help. He's the center, almost 6'5". Bazell is 14, comes top. Good, tough defense on both ends. They sink back on Bazell. Weber turns in the lane, 8-footer.
Good move by Weber. Good move. Good, strong-looking kid. And that belt looked like he ought to be a football player.
The Hawk fans make some noise. Look at this defense.
1-3-1.
Shields in the left corner. Skip pass out on top. That's Hill. Now they use stand back inside. Remember, Monteith Dixon got 2 early fouls, and he's a load, 16.5 points a game. There's the entry pass. Stand back.
Looks like on the out of bounds, it may be a lob right here.
It's a pop up to stand back. He's open. Missed it, but Shields got it.
That's what you like to see happen when a sub comes into the game. He gets a bucket right away.
6'3" junior.
Violation, I think, on the inbounds.
Prairie Central stepped in, and Assumption with a 2-point lead tries to extend it. Now watch Prairie Central guard this one. They use Scott inside. His turnaround is there.
Quickness. Good pass inside the low post and a good spin move.
4 points in 5 seconds by the Pioneers, and the Hawks try to rally. Wide open Class A tournament. Earlier, Springfield Cavalry was rated 1. Meyer for 3.
That'll make you sit up and take notice.
And just like that, Prairie Central within 1. Horton. Coach yells out pro set 1. That's stand back. He missed it, but Scott rebounds for a deuce.
Took a bad shot, but they got the offensive rebound again. There was a man open up the floor for Prairie Central, but they didn't see him that time.
Just under 2 minutes you see on your screen in the first quarter. Bazell, baseline. Tidwell, 22 feet away. Meyer fields it from 3. Bang!
They better get a hand up. Get a hand in his face.
And Meyer turned to the crowd and said, let's go. The game is tied.
Back to man-to-man again now. They'll be switching all afternoon.
That's Horton, who hit the shot in the super to tie it. A 3. He dances in the front. Ball goes down to stand back on the block. Off his hands. The Hawks have it back. The 5th turnover against Assumption.
I think Prairie Central's got their crowd into the game right now.
They've got a load of a crowd here, too. Fairbury, Wing, Chatsworth, Cropsey, Forest, and Strong. All the communities. Meyer, baseline. Pop is smacked away by Almonte Shields.
Who was the last fine exchange student we saw in this tournament? Kai Nurnberg with Benton, that has played so well for Southern.
And before that, Uwe Block.
Yep. Of course, Meyer is from is an Italian exchange student.
Cooper Schmidt. Hook shot. Weber rebounds. And a foul.
I think Prairie Central got by with a foul underneath the basket on the rebound.
Weber barged in there big time. You can see
Ron Woods.
Yeah, I think Woods give him one, but he got by with it. And a lot of times they don't see the first one, but they'll get the second one.
Well, it's going to be bonus time for Prairie Central. Dan Weber will get his way to the free throw line. As you pointed out, Coach, he's a big guy. He's 6'2", 210. Look at the crowd.
Their 6th man.
Weber puts it home.
Frank, I think
Prairie Central takes the lead.
Weber and Bazell both need to have afternoons because Cooper Schmidt's going to have his hands full inside against stand back. No question about that.
Monteith Dixon back in the lineup for Assumption. The 6'5" senior is just some player. Rebound the Pioneers. Didn't look down the court that time as Dixon was ahead of the pack.
First Prairie Central lead.
Just under a minute, first quarter. Dixon's open. Around and out. Meyer rebounds and runs. Tidwell. Little tricky dribble. Inside, Bazell. Yes!
Nice shot by Bazell. A good pass by Tidwell. Tidwell's averaged over 6 assists this year.
Fundamentally sound Hawks. Drilled the pass into the paint and smacked it in. Half a minute to play, first quarter. Open to Scott. Starts in. Rebound Scott. Good hustle.
Prairie Central did have him blocked out. The ball popped out on him, but
there's your clock.
Onto the boards again.
And they want one shot to close the quarter. They're down 3. Horton. 5 seconds count.
5 second count.
That's a turnover. And there's a disgruntled coach. He says, don't foul. Strasburger calls the play. Meyer brings the ball. 5 seconds.
That'd be a big turnover.
Tidwell with 3. Tidwell from 3. And that's it. The end of the first quarter at the Assembly Hall for March Madness. Prairie Central in the lead, 16-13. Now this from one of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. Charlie Strasburger tries to root in that three-pointer.
Well, I don't think he was too happy with the shot, but I think he's happy with the score of the first quarter, though. I think he'll take that.
First quarter field goal percentages have risen. 36 for Assumption. Prairie Central has 2 more shots, made 31%.
They were 1 for 9, and now they're 4 for 5, so it's picked up there for them.
Pressure defense again.
And real good defense.
Dixon helps out. This is Hill. Frank Bissoni along with Art Kimball and Coach Ed Butkovich. And out of bounds to start the second quarter here.
Good weak side help by Bazell there. I think it was Bazell.
It was.
Come off the weak side and did a good job. It just fortunately stepped out of bounds.
Inside it goes to Scott. Uses muscle. Ronald Scott.
There wasn't much Tidwell could do right there. Just hold his ground.
Scott is 4 out of 5 shooting, and he's really helped Assumption. Tidwell. Looks like the three-point shooting edge goes to Prairie Central. The size and quickness edge to Assumption.
Oh, the gentleman from Italy, he's hit over 58% or about 57% this year.
Great
three-point rate.
Oh, yes. He's hit 56.
I believe there could have been an offensive foul there on the big guy from.
There's 3 out of 4 in the game. Nice move inside.
Oh.
Stopped by Standback. Ian Standback smashed that one in. He started the season with a clue, 20 points and 22 rebounds in the opener.
I told you something, didn't it?
Tidwell, 3. Gary Tidwell, who averages 18, just hit a 3. He has half dozen. Prairie Central by a deuce.
I think he has 4 3-pointers, isn't it?
Right, 4 3-pointers for Prairie Central.
In 5 tries. Maurice Horton backs in, and Meyer comes out to defense Hill. Man-to-man by the Hawks. They go inside to Ian Standback. Miss that. Bazell has the rebound at 5-10.
Nobody on the board that time for Assumption.
They're looking for Standback inside. Meyer goes by his man on the left. Finds Bazell. Good.
Myers did a great job of kicking the ball back outside.
The guard penetration's getting open shots for the Hawks. They lead by 4. That's 4 for Bazell.
And he took a good shot, too.
Monteith Dixon needs to get on track. That's him with the ball. Scott's open. Just missed. Cooper Schmidt rebounds. Dayton Cooper Schmidt. Prairie Central at 5:40. Moves up.
Right now, I think Prairie Central's controlling the board.
Bazell. Good again. Assumption's going to have to stop it. They do. 5:28 to play, and Prairie Central's on a shooting run. Let's take time out. From the Country Companies, proud sponsors of the IHSA, has been to go inside with their strength. And watch as Ian Standback stings that one home on the top. And the Prairie Central plan has been on the outside like this. Darren Bazell.
Good passing. Good team play.
A 5-point Hawk lead, and the Pioneers with the ball in white.
Don't forget, coming up next, North Green and Carlisle. As the field goal percentages, 40% for Prairie Central, same number of shots, 30 for Assumption, too long.
They come up with a diamond press, and it caused them some problems again. There's another basic turnover. I mean, it just happened, and those things will turn around and bite you.
6 turnovers for Assumption. Tidwell missed. Rebound Scott. Here comes Dixon. He's 1 against 2. Beat his man to the baseline nicely. Does a 360 down. Doesn't count. Traveling.
Great move, but they called a violation on it.
The Assumption has 7 turnovers. Prairie Central fairly clean with 3. Under 5 minutes, first half. Tidwell shows no signs of the infection he had antibiotics for the last couple of days. Meyer stalks to the left. Tidwell's open and fakes. Now goes. Oh, what a pass to Cooper Schmidt.
Beautiful pass.
Assumption has 1 in the quarter and 16. Here's a lob inside. Standback is down.
But on that pass from Tidwell, did you see Cooper Smith move to the basket? He helped himself get open there. When he got open, Tidwell hit him with a great pass.
Remember, Tidwell's been here before, gentlemen.
Right, Art. He was here last year, of course, with Payne of the champions. Meyer missed. Weber rebound. Nice defense this time by Maurice Horton.
Go fast.
And a steal by Scott. Boy, there's some bodies smacking together there. Oh, the pass went through Dixon's hand.
I noticed, Frank, on Tidwell's last 3-point attempt, he was shocked it didn't go in. He didn't even look to go back inside. He started to go back out on defense. That's confidence. Well earned, I might add.
You bet. Coach Woods talking about concentration as the pass went through the fingers of Dixon. 3:50 to play. Prairie Central by 6. Trap. Bazell tries. Good.
Bazell's had a good first half.
4 for 4 for Bazell.
Catch the ball with your fingers and your eyes when the ball is thrown to you.
Horton blows into the lane. Missed the shot. And Tidwell has the rebound. And Assumption's gone cold.
Assumption's hurrying the offense a little bit, aren't they? Their shot selection is not what it was early.
Right now, Prairie Central is giving you a clinic on defensive rebounding.
Oh, a nice pickoff by Monteith Dixon. Here he comes.
Oh, he did.
That's high percentage.
A stuff by Dixon gives him 4. Assumption within 6. Bazell turns out of trouble at half court. Good passing team.
Good post up.
Cooper Schmidt double team Tidwell. And look for the open man. Foul on Malcolm Hill.
Fifteen foul on East St. Louis Assumption, so the bonus situation in effect with Mr. Bazell stepping to the line.
Bazell.
You never know, but the way he's been shooting the outside, this ought to be a piece of cake right here for the free throws.
Maybe too close.
He doesn't look like a 55% foul shooter, which he's been on the season. Missed that one.
Too close.
There's the ball. Oh, but Meyer anticipated the pass. Tries the 3. Boom! For Robbie Meyer. And he arrived in Fairbury last August. Dixon goes in. Blocking foul. Monteith Dixon's been their leading scorer a dozen times.
Yep.
Watch Meyer's anticipation, Coach.
I know he threw it while he's in the air. There's a good anticipation. And then you end up getting the 3-point. So it could be a 5-point swing right there.
And he knew where his feet was. You don't want to take that shot 3 inches inside that line.
Probably taught that to him over there, didn't they?
The Italian connection is making a very definite impression here in the Assembly Hall.
He played club basketball over in Italy, and he's got a brother who's in the 8th grade named Andrew there, who they say is one of the fine young players.
I think his mother and his brother are over here right now.
That's a fact. Well, we're going to talk to his mother at halftime. Meyer rebounds. It's 30-21 Prairie Central. 2:22, first half of play. First quarterfinal of the Assembly Hall.
He is indeed a player.
Nice move by Tidwell. Meyer fakes the shot. Tidwell tries it. Feathers. Gary Tidwell.
6 3-pointers for Prairie Central. 6.
11. It's under 2 minutes now, first half. The biggest lead for the Hawks. It's a dozen.
And the 3-point play has been one of the biggest changes in basketball, too, in a long time.
It really has, and it's really shown itself today. Here's a lob inside for Scott. Nicely done.
Beautiful lob.
Scott really set the post, and Dixon found him.
We're going to have to get a lot more of those.
11 for Scott. He's had a big game. Again, that many in the Super, but this is the first half. Tidwell shakes free, goes in, banks it up. Stand back, leaning on the rebound.
I believe they got by with another one right there. I believe 50 give him the hip.
Let's take a look and see if you're right.
Here, beat him, push him in. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's 50 at the bottom.
Look at that.
Yeah. Used his bulk.
Well, you always tell them to block out, Coach.
Oh, if you get by with it, that's perfect.
But you don't tell them to push him all the way to Tuscola.
No, well, they don't call it.
Free throw is missed. And the rebound to Horton. 1:19.
Oh, beautiful defense again.
Somebody's open. Double team the front. Horton tries. Rebound Cooper Schmidt. The center gives a behind-the-back pass to Tidwell, who's on the move. It's been a clinic in the second quarter. Prairie Central's hitting on all cylinders. Weber. Post up, 2.
Well, I'm just going to tell you just a little while ago, if they hit those 3-pointers, then that leaves them open on the inside. That's what they've done. They've tried to cover them on the outside. Now they're dumping it off on the inside.
But don't count the Pioneers out. They've got a lot of firepower, like that guy. Stand back. And he rolls that down. It's a 10-point game. Stand back.
18 of Prairie Central's 35 points from three-point range, and of course that's a tremendous weapon.
Let's see what the strategy of Strasburger is now. The clock moves to 20 seconds. They may want one.
They probably want 3.
1-3, huh? Bazell had a good first half. Comes to the right. They peer down the lane. Tidwell breaks free. 7. Tidwell shoots with 6. Short. Tipped back in bounds. Attempt. And out of bounds to Assumption with 3. They have time to try a shot. They'll try to throw the ball out to half court. Horton has it. He lets fly with 1. No. That's the end of the first half of play. Prairie Central, the Hawks, in blue. They're 28-1, and they're in the lead by 10 over the Assumption Pioneers of East St. Louis. We'll be back in just a moment. Now a message from one of your network sponsors, the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois.
Floor of Assembly Hall. Of course, I'm speaking with Coach Tom Welch, the coach of Flora, and we are at halftime. And of course, Coach Welch, you know a lot about this Assumption team, of course, because there were a lot of super sectional games played to get here. 8, only 1 went into overtime. Yours went into 3 overtimes. You've got to be thinking to yourself, well, we could have been here, but that's the breaks of the game.
Well, anytime you go 3 overtimes, all the players, coaches can look back and say, well, if I'd have maybe done this, it would have changed the game around. But at this point, there's nothing we can do about it. We were happy that our kids played as well as they did, and we were 6 seconds away from coming down here with a 3-point lead, and it just wasn't to be, as Horton threw in a 3-pointer, and then they beat us in 3 overtimes.
Speaking of 3-pointers, Prairie Central is doing a good job of that against Assumption here in the first half, leading by 10. How is Assumption going to compensate for that? Can they jump out? Can they stop those 3 attempts?
Well, they can. They're just going to have to get out and play good man-to-man defense on them, get a hand in their face. Actually, they're trying to take too many chances on double teams, and when they double team, obviously that leaves one man open. And Prairie Central doing a good job of getting the ball to the open man, and when he's open, they've been able to convert. Now, they may come out the second half and miss all those 3-pointers. You never know.
27-5 was your record this year. It could be even better next year. You've got a couple of people coming back that could be Division I prospects.
Well, we feel we have 2 Division I players coming back in 6'4" Jim Locum, and Jim's brother Tim plays for the University of Wisconsin and was an outstanding player when he was at Flora. Along with Jim, we have 6'8" Paul Turles, who's a junior. To back those guys up, we have a 6'6" center, Curtis Lee, and our 5'9" point guard who started for us this year will also be back.
Coach Welch, you'll be back for your 10th year next year. We hope to see you down here.
Well, you know, we're going to make every effort, but it takes a lot of luck. The best teams in the state don't always get down here, but it's the teams that play well at tournament time, and if you get a break here or there, then all of a sudden you're at the Assembly Hall.
That's the coach of Florida. Coach, enjoy the tournament.
Okay, thank you.
It's 35-25 at halftime. Prairie Central is leading Assumption of East St. Louis, and one of the reasons they're leading is a young man named Robbie Meyer, and with me right now is his mother all the way from Italy, and you've flown. How long have you been back to watch your son play?
I came here just on Tuesday night before they play in Bloomington. I arrived until 45 minutes before the beginning of the match.
So, is it any more exciting if you're Italian? I mean, you're not probably used to basketball all that much, are you? Except, of course, I'm sure Robbie fills you in.
Not like this. People are very, very enthusiastic of basket. We have in matches like this, we have 200 persons, that's all.
Now, your son is an exchange student.
Yes.
Now, that had to be your idea. If not your idea, you had to give him the okay. What did you want him to learn over here coming to the States?
Instead, the language is very important, and the custom of the USA, basket basket, okay, because he likes it very much, so it's quite good, even basket. But the language and the custom of user is important to learn while he's here, okay?
How do you say exciting in Italian?
Eccitati.
Okay, well, that's what we've got here. Thank you for visiting with us.
Thank you for you. Sorry for my English is not so good.
That's quite all right. You're doing very well. We're at halftime at Assembly Hall. We're coming back. It's 35-25. Prairie Central leads it. Back after these messages.
The Pioneers of Assumption of East St. Louis came out of the blocks well in the Assembly Hall and got an early lead, then fell behind at the end of the first quarter by 3, 16-13. But then monster three-point shooting by Prairie Central, principally from Gary Tidwell and Robbie Meyer. And the Hawks have a 10-point lead of the first half in this first quarter final game. And Coach Ed Butkovich, what are your impressions of the first half? What things jump out at you?
Well, I think the three-point play jump out at you, but I'm impressed with Prairie Central's defensive boards. They don't let Assumption get the second rebound. They don't let them get the second shot. I think that is a big key, and the fact that they've hit extremely well is a big key. And I think Assumption is rushing their offense just a little bit. They're trying to get the ball in the low post now, and it's worked a little bit more successful now the second quarter. But I think going to go back to a big key in the ball game, I think, is the charge that Tidwell took early in the ball game, took away a possible, they were 5 ahead, I think, and then he come down and then hit the three-pointer, and I think that sparked the crowd, that sparked the sixth man for Prairie Central, and then they come back, they have a burning desire to go out in a blaze of glory at Assumption, East St. Louis. And because this is the last year, so they're going to have to get it together early. Don't get too far behind, because I think it looks like Prairie Central's got the kind of ball club that can play a controlled type of ball game in the last quarter if they have to.
They really do, and they'll have that three-point shooting to contend with up Prairie Central, and it will be interesting to see what Assumption does to stop that. We're going to come back at the Assembly Hall for the second half of the first quarterfinal game in just a moment. We'll be back after this from one of your network sponsors, who's John Deere.
Now, tearing a path across North America, the new 55 Series John Deere tractors. With completely new 7.6-liter engines. 6 new tractors offering new automatic engaging front-wheel drive. And a restyled sound guard body with new IntelliTrack information.
The halftime statistics show the shooting in favor of Prairie Central at 45%. They have one extra shot. They made 3 out of 8 free throws. Not very good. Rebounding in favor of Assumption, but the big key, look at the turnovers, Coach. 9 turnovers for Assumption, and the Prairie Central defense, not only could they shoot threes, but they played the D.
That's a big factor right there. And remember, we started the ball game, Prairie Central was 1 for 9. Now they're 12 for 20.
They also played that good defense with only 3 team fouls in the first half. So they play fundamentally very sound. They're very intense, and they'd have 2 exceptional, maybe even 3 outside shooters. The Assumption was led in the first half by Ronald Scott with 11 points. Ian Standback with 8. Monteith Dixon, who averages nearly 17, had only 4, so we might hear from that shooter in the second half. Horton with 3 and Shields with 2. No real foul trouble. Dixon with 2. For the Hawks of Prairie Central, Tidwell was the leader with 11, and Robbie Meyer outside with 9 first half. So that's 20 points of their 35 from the guard play. Okay, we're starting for the second half. The Hawks start with the ball. They're in the blue. Don't forget, coming up, it'll be North Green against Carlisle in our second game. And then tonight, St. Francis of Wheaton against Mendota, followed by Rock Island, Alleman, and Tuscola as day 1 unfolds in March Madness.
I think Assumption has to make a stop right here defensively. This first time down the floor to start this second half.
They're really out on the ball. That's Meyer getting a screen from Tidwell. Cooper Schmidt roams across the blocks. Tries to post up Meyer. Comes out and uses a screen out of Tidwell. Nice rebound, Scott.
Good rebound, Scott.
He's an active player, strong, 6'5" and 210.
Got a nice nickname, too, Spike. They call him.
Hill looks to the post. High post, low post. Scott threw up a prayer. Stand back, rebounded it, flat-footed, counted. Nice play by Ian Standback. He's big enough at 6'7". He actually rebounded that ball standing. A little out of control by Scott there.
He didn't put up a real good shot. But to get that rebound, chance for a three-point effort.
What number Standback? 17 points and 17 rebounds a game.
But it looked like a brick on a free throw, though.
Wide left. 7 minutes to play, third quarter. And the Hawks of Prairie Central set up. Basic 2-3 set against pressure, man-to-man. Foul in the front, Maurice Horton.
Prairie Central's got a lot of movement in their offense, but you know, a lot of times they do go one-on-one there, and the two guards have done a good job.
They take care of the ball well.
Yes, they do. There's a lob.
Meyer starts across the lane and is held by Standback.
2 quick fouls.
A lot of major college coaches looking at Standback.
Watch this screen to screener. They may not do it on this play. Now it's lob.
Lob inside Meyer layup.
Beautiful.
Bazell saw Meyer inside. A set play for a 10-point lead.
Where did Meyer learn that? Meyer learned that hook shot in Italy?
Hey, look, Bazell passed that ball while he was in the air.
Well, Bazell wasn't listed as a starter in the early documents we received, and he's really played well. Spinning inside, Hill tried it, and a foul on the Hawks.
Played him a lot the other night, Frank, and the Super played Bazell much more than Miller, who was listed as a starter. See what he did.
He had
12 points. Yeah, 6 buckets in the ball.
Out of 7 shots.
Yeah, that's not bad.
6'2" senior Malcolm Hill. Put it down. He's a 68% foul shooter. Watch the pass.
There's a lob. Now see, he passed it right while he was in the air. A little baby hook, or if you want to call it a baby hook, but he got it in there, jump hook.
2 throws by Hill. He had 22 against East St. Louis Lincoln. It's an 8-point Hawk lead.
Comes a little full court man-to-man pressure here.
Meyer escapes his man to the left. Still man-to-man. Meyer goes all the way. There's that sling shot. It's 3-on-2 with Monteith Dixon in the middle. Pull up one-hander. No, he rebounds it. Steps in, 2. Monteith Dixon did what he was supposed to do. Pulled up at the foul line.
Did a good job. He stopped and popped.
And Charlie Strasburger, as the lead melts to 6, calls timeout. 5:57 to go in the third, and we'll be back. Now this from one of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. Charlie Strasburger peels off the coat because Assumption's coming back. Their coach says they can go 10 deep. They've got some great athletes on the bench.
Yes, they have got some great athletes on the bench. Charlie saw something he didn't like, so he got a timeout. They have a great athlete on the bench named Vern Slaughter that is a pro prospect in baseball. He's a catcher, outstanding catcher. He was a quarterback on the team this year in football. In the last 2 years, he was fullback before that.
Oh, what a spinning move by Dan Weber. He threw it almost to the rafters.
Almost brought a little rain, I think.
7 points for Weber.
Farmers around here like that.
Answering is Horton, and it went down, and it counts. Maurice Horton made a nice slide to the basket and got it down. Take a look at this, Coach.
I think it was a good defense there by Tidwell. Unfortunately, the call went the other way. But it was close.
Tough move by Horton. 5'10" junior. He had 15 in the Super. You know, he shoots 56% on threes himself.
This is really a good matchup. This is a good basketball game. It really is.
Free throw Horton is there. And Assumption's within 5.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but Assumption was in the football playoffs again this year. Fisher was a great fullback for that ball club, too.
Oh, that Slaughter you were talking about, 6'7", 210. Here's a steal by Dixon. And over and back.
Well, I tell you, if he's a catcher, Ed, he's got a pretty good shot, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, he's a 6'2", weighs about 220, you know.
Keep that name in mind.
Oh, you got to be a great athlete if you've been a fullback for 2 years and all of a sudden the coach wants to put you a quarterback your senior year.
Yeah.
You got to have something going for you.
Well, what kind of intensity must there be in the city of St. Louis? 3 high schools there, huh?
They've got some great athletes there.
Good.
You guys may or may not know it, but Coach Woods coached LaFonso Ellis in grade school. At Clark Junior High, I believe it was.
On the turn, Tidwell got free. He's open now for the deuce. Gary Tidwell.
Good move. He faked the defensive man out and then went right back up with the ball.
13 points for Tidwell at this point.
He had 18 in the Super, including 5 out of 5 at the free throw line. Now Dixon lobs inside, stand back, turnaround, steps in, missed it, got it back, here he comes, 2.
Three-pointer.
6'7" Ian stand back, making his presence felt on the blocks.
It's an awful tough situation. The defensive man has got to play behind him. If he runs him, they lob. If they play behind, they're going to get the ball in there anyway. It's tough to guard a man like that. Good ball player.
Almost need to play in front of him and get weak side help.
They did early in the game.
Here's Standback. Whistled at home. It's now a 4-point game, and the Pioneers extend the pressure. Will the Hawks answer? Tidwell comes across the line. Tidwell is the stepson of Coach Charlie Strasburger. He was at Pana last year, of course, as a sophomore, 6th man on the state title team. No longer a 6th man. Inside it goes Cooperschmidt, blocked by Standback. Tough defensive play by Standback.
3rd foul.
And a foul on the Hawks. Let's see.
Standback. No. It's all the other way.
It's on Cooperschmidt. Watch this play by Standback.
Only 2 fouls on Standback. It's a big call, Frank.
Really is.
I was going to make the comment concerning Cooperschmidt. He averages about 11 points a game. He has 1 bucket so far. Standback has done a tremendous defensive job on the inside. Of course, he's 3 inches taller, but that's a key factor. Cooperschmidt gets going. Prairie Central has another dimension.
Could be another key. We're only 3 minutes and 26 seconds into the 3rd quarter, and they're in the 1-on-1.
They shoot from the free throw line on the season 62%. The assumption. Here's Standback. Nice rebound, Cooperschmidt. Still a 4-point game. 4:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Buzzell comes into the front. They snap the ball around that defense. So Cooperschmidt goes inside, stripped by Scott. Here he comes. Ronald Scott flies all the way. Missed it, but Standback didn't.
Standback's right there. It wasn't a very good shot by Scott again, but he had the weak side rebound to Standback coming in there.
15 for Standback right now.
You see how well he got down the floor. He really hustled right there.
The lead dwindles to 2, but Horton fouled Tidwell. And a game that was 12 has shrunk to 2. And here's part of the reason, the running game and the board work. Ian Standback. He can play for anybody. Tidwell backs in. Tidwell, Buzzell, and Meyer around the perimeter. Weber and Cooperschmidt inside. That's the Prairie Central Hawks. This is Robbie Meyer from Italy. Here's the ball loose. Kicked away by Monteith Dixon.
Pick it up. Just pick it up.
Out of bounds to Prairie Central.
All he had to do is stop and pick it up. He's going to try to get it on a run. If he just stop and pick it up, he's got the ball. And maybe a basket. He had a man who was partially open.
The Pioneers meet him with pressure at half court. 2-point game. Clock comes to 3:30. Meyer looks for the cutting Buzzell.
They're in a patterned offense right now. There's a double screen on the baseline. They reverse the ball back to the other side.
Tidwell tries a 3. Long rebound to Assumption. Now on the floor. Buzzell has it traveling.
I don't know if you know it, but you know that Eric Wright from the 49ers is a graduate of Assumption in St. Louis?
That's right. Check this out. Like being in a blender. Inside, Horton goes down and missed. Blocking foul on the Hawks. Bodies are flying.
Weber, I believe.
Not only is Eric Wright of the 49ers an alum, but a couple of political figures. Dick Durbin, Illinois rep, and U.S. rep Jerry Costello.
Well, they had a couple guys that went to Notre Dame and played football. Jerry Havens a few years ago, and Manziel Carter that played.
This is Horton, the junior. Missed it.
Now, that was Jerome Heavens, wasn't it, at Notre Dame?
Okay.
Yeah, that was their leading ground gainer until Vegas Ferguson came along, I believe.
Within 1 if he makes it. And Assumption is there and puts on a full court press.
I believe Rick Suttle from Kansas played there was from Assumption in St. Louis.
Yeah, you're right.
He later played pro ball in Europe.
Robbie Meyer with the ball. Looks for Tidwell. He's really being guarded by Horton. A lot of banging away from the ball.
Good pressure right now.
Coach Wood yells no threes. Ball tipped away from behind by Dixon. Assumption has it and shoots for the lead. Stutter step shot, Dixon. Good.
I hope a lot of young kids watch that. He used the backboard extremely well.
Assumptions come off the deck. 8 points for Dixon. And now the Hawks have to come back. They led by 10 at the half. And we said don't count them out. A foul on Malcolm Hill.
Getting close to the bonus now.
Well, they were giving up for dead against Florida the other night in the Super. Took them 3 overtimes and they pulled it out. There's a concerned Charlie Strasburger, gentlemen.
Cooper Schmidt, ooh, stolen by Dixon. He's got him 2 in a row. Scott was open. A fine play by Dan Weber. It was a good foul because without the foul, it's an easy layup.
But it's his third.
He saved a basket, I think, or a dunk.
This is the 3rd foul on Dan Weber coming up.
Great defensive play right there.
There's Scott wide open.
It's going to be open. You talk about being dead. I saw one come back last Tuesday night from over in Decatur, Tuscola.
Number 40, John Pica, 6'5.5" senior in for Prairie Central. Weber goes out. That was one of the most remarkable comebacks in high school basketball.
It was a stunner. Come 18 back at the start of the 4th quarter. Calvary scored the first basket, won 18 up at 7 minutes and 50 seconds, and the other team come back and won the ball game in the end on 2 free throws by Workman.
Dixon missed the free throw. Tidwell comes down.
Half the people are in the parking lot, huh?
Not too many of them. I think they stayed around for that.
Pica's in the paint. He turns and tries and is fouled. 6'5.5". John Pica got in the game, and immediately they went to him. Foul is on Scott.
Pica's a pretty good, solid ball player, Frank. I'm trying to not sound like an expert because I'm not. I only saw him play 1 ball game, but very impressive.
He got 8 points in that super sectional. Charlie Strasburger's out of Western Kentucky, the class of 1969. In 14 years in high school, he's won 223 games.
That's what you want. Come in and hit that free throw.
No pressure here, right?
No pressure. Not up here in the big house. Never is.
Here comes another. All net. Prairie Central reclaims the lead, and we march to the 2-minute mark, 3rd quarter.
And the crowd is back at the Assembly Hall.
Well, there's a big house here. Lob to stand back. He's open. Missed it. Pica rebounds. A big lift off the bench by John Pica.
2 free throws, 1 rebound, first time in.
Will Meyer try a 3? Or Tidwell? Let's see. They go inside. Cooper Schmidt is hooked. Maurice Horton got it.
To get 2 free throws out of it, too, I believe.
Of course, suddenly the Hawks have a big lineup in there with Pica and Cooper Schmidt in there together. Now, I didn't see that combination at all in the Super.
4th foul on starting guard Maurice Horton, and he has to come out in favor of Damon Mason. Mason is 6'2", a senior.
Good feed inside. He posted up real well. He got him across the arm.
Good position by Standback, but the weak side man picked up the foul. Nice rotation by Cooper Schmidt.
If we remember last year, Pena hit the free throws down the stretch when they needed them. And didn't they play the first game of the Elite 8 last year?
I believe they did.
They lead by 3 at 1:30 coming right up. Dixon gets free. Pops from the foul line. Nice rebound. Robbie Meyer.
If Dixon's hurt.
Dixon is clearly favoring an ankle. Coming down. Bazell puts it down.
3-pointer.
Darren Bazell went all the way coast to coast. 5 for 5 for Darren Bazell. And Dixon, a key player for our Assumption, has to go hopping with a sprained ankle.
Might be an ankle injury.
That's a tough break. See if we can see it.
Well, he twisted it when he come down.
Right there, he's on the deck.
They come back with a 3-point effort again.
Bazell just netted the free throw. It's now a 6-point Prairie Central lead, and they've run 7 in a row. They're backing up. They're looking for Ian Standback on the blocks. Here he comes. Bang. Standback's got a real good. He squared up nice to the basket.
Squared up. He didn't have much arc on the ball, but it went in.
17 for Ian Standback. 4-point game near the end of the third quarter. Well, they are conscious of the three-point shots now. Bazell is open, doesn't. Cooper Schmidt whirls. Scott had the rebound, dropped it out of bounds.
Yes, he did. I think the big guy took a bad shot there. They had the rebound and let it slip off her fingers.
Tidwell takes it lob. He lobs to Cooper Schmidt, and he banks it in.
I tell you, Cooper Schmidt wasn't even looking for it. He was looking over at the basket.
That's exactly right.
And he looked up just in time, though.
Look what I found. And it goes Standback. He barges his way in. Tipping at the rebound is Scott. Out of bounds to the Hawks.
There's another situation. Scott got his hand on it, but couldn't keep it.
And now Assumption has to make a defensive stop, down 6. There's your clock. Will they go for one?
I think so.
Tidwell holding it against Damon Mason outside. Under 10. Gary Tidwell to the left. This is Meyer. Meyer for 3 blocks with 2 seconds and a foul. Foul is on Dayton Cooper Schmidt. There's Coach Jones. He's asking the official if Tidwell wasn't carrying the ball.
They're really working on Montev Dixon over here, Frank, and Bob Nicolette, the trainer for the IHSA, along with the Assumption trainer. He's in a lot of discomfort. I don't know if he's going to come back or not. You can see it. Yeah, there's Bob working with him.
The right ankle, and they need him. He's a big part of their team. Cooper Schmidt goes out. And 54, Justin Cox, a 6'4 junior, checks in for Prairie Central.
He's not too bad either.
Standback drills it. With 2 seconds, Monteith Dixon trying to get repaired so that he can return. But you can see the pain. Standback, 1 of 2. Meyer tries, and that was just short. At the end of 3 quarters at the Assembly Hall, who will be the first team to go to the Final Four? Prairie Central 50, Assumption 45. Now this from one of your network sponsors, Country Company. With 8 minutes left in somebody's season, Monteith Dixon still getting attention. He's the star player for the Assumption Pioneers, the 6'5 senior. But one thing Assumption did in that quarter, they did not allow Prairie Central 1 3-point goal.
That was a big key right there. They've got Horton back in the ball game, so he was been out with 4 fouls, and hopefully they can keep him in there.
That's Horton there into Standback. He's a drop down pass to Scott. It's a 5-point Prairie Central lead in the final quarter. Frank Bissoni and Art Kimball along with Coach Ed Butkovich at the Assembly Hall.
Put it back up.
Shields got it. 3-shot. Maurice Horton hit a 3.
I guess that's why he threw it back outside.
He's the guy that hit the shot that tied the super sectional game. And it's a 2-pointer now.
They're retaping Dixon's ankle, Frank, so he may come back.
Pika missed inside, got it back. Steps in and missed.
Oh.
But a foul is John Pika giving the Hawks a bit of a lift.
Done a real good job since he's coming out.
Here's Pika. Pulled his way in.
They laid it on the floor. If he hadn't laid it on the floor, he might have got it up strong the first time, but he made a good power move in there, though.
Missed the first of a pair.
He missed it, but he had good touch. Watch his release.
Missed 2. And Assumption can have a tie with a 2-pointer here.
For the lead.
Let me give you my medical report again. Dixon is lacing on his shoes, so he may come back.
Wow. Justin Cox, and there you see Monteith getting back ready. Justin Cox, a junior from Prairie Central, picked up the foul.
Pretty good size. 6'4", goes 215.
And growing. Cooper Schmidt comes out. He'll be back, of course. There goes Cox. And Dixon bounces off the Pioneer bench.
Wasn't much swelling in that ankle. It was very similar. Remember the injury Eric Anderson had in the AA tournament last year, Frank? First quarter, looked like about the same thing. They got him back, and they need him.
We've had some wars down here. Eric Anderson, LaFonso Ellis, Marcus Liberty. Here's a Standback. Missed it. Prairie Central has the ball in the lead. These free throws will be a big story, part of this story.
Geez, right now, well, there's some hard work in the post area right now.
Pika sets up on one side. Cooper Schmidt had to sit down. There's Pika.
Win Towers in there.
Miss.
Comes a big time down the floor for him.
Dixon. Dixon goes all the way. Stop and pop. Nice rebound, Bazell. Good position that time by the Hawks.
They go to that loose ball real well. Ball come back outside and they went to it.
Dixon is following Meyer everywhere. Out on him. Meyer, one of the three-point shooters. Pika tries inside. Ball fake and shot. Just short. Good position, Cooper Schmidt.
You see Cooper Schmidt go. He come from one side of the board to the other. He was in the middle of the lane, and he went to that weak side and just got inside the big guy. Did an excellent job.
Dan Weber comes back for John Pika, who gets a good hand.
Foul number 3 on Ian Standback. Big call with 6:15 to go.
Good fundamental play. The big guy right here.
He missed it.
He missed it, though.
Standback, who's led his team in rebounding 21 times, got that one. Prairie Central up by 2, but here is a tie. Standback stuck. Makes it 50 all at 6-minute mark.
And what a tie.
20 points for Standback. What a game. Welcome to Mark Tidwell, 3.
Short.
Rebound Meyer, 2.
Got that. And they picked up the 4th foul, too. And the big guy, I believe.
Meyer. Yep. It's 13 by Tidwell. There's Tidwell's shot. Now Meyer. The crowd is reacting to the 4 fouls on Ian Standback.
Maybe 5. I don't know. Is that 4 or 5?
I've got him with 4 right now.
Timeout on the court. 5:48. We'll be right back in this thriller. Now, one of your network sponsors, the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. Major blow to Assumption, as that was the 5th foul on Ian Standback. Here's the big guy tying the game.
Great pass inside and a slammeroo.
And there he is, but they'll have to go without him the rest of the way. He's had 20. Now they'll turn inside to Monteith Dixon probably. Robbie Meyer with a big follow shot.
Oh, he come in with a key rebound and just went into an open area and nobody blocked him out. Put it back up and got fouled.
That's 14 for Meyer. And there's a 3-point Hawk lead. Now let's see what the strategy is. Almonte Shields, 6'3" junior, replaced Standback. It is Dixon in the middle. Guarding is Weber, and he's behind him. Tidwell fronts him.
Double team him down low. They're leaving a man open.
Man open is Scott. He's on the left
Scott
wing.
over there.
A lot of time left. 5:23. Teams looking for a good shot here. Dixon pushed way out on the floor by Dan Weber.
Nice
Inside
move.
Dixon.
Nice
What a move!
But he missed it.
Rebound Scott.
Rebound Scott.
It's a 1-pointer. 13 for Ronald Scott.
Last time down the floor, it didn't look like Scott wanted to take anything on the outside.
Tidwell doesn't mind taking them from the outside, but they've really crowded the 3-point shooters since the second half began. Bazell fakes. There's Tidwell, 6 foot, 16-year-old junior. Weber in the middle. Cooper Schmidt on the move.
Beautiful. How about that pass?
Weber in the air, drop down. Cooper Schmidt.
Great teamwork, great effort.
Dixon poked away by Tidwell.
Well,
3-on-2 Hawks. Myers open. 3. Go! Robbie Meyer ignites the crowd. It's a 6-point lead. Horton answers. No. Weber pulls it down.
Oh.
And out of bounds. Cooper Schmidt couldn't handle it.
I think he took his eye off the ball just before he caught it. It was a good outlet to him.
There's Robbie Meyer, who loaded up, checked his feet, and pulled the trigger.
Did he ever?
Charlie Strasburger said, gee, I didn't think he was very good when he first got to school. Then I noticed he could really shoot it. Malcolm Hill on the move. A nice play.
Good drive by Malcolm.
That makes it a 4-point game. 4 points for Hill. Taking care of the ball, very important now. Tidwell goes against Horton. Meyer again. 3 again. Good again.
When he made the move, he looked down, glanced and saw where the three-point line was, and made sure he stayed behind it. Good court sense.
5 out of 8 from the three-point lane.
Also good defense by Myers over there, too.
8 3-pointers overall for Prairie Central this afternoon.
And a 7-point lead. Dixon looks to lead the team. And a whistle away from the ball. Foul on Meyer.
Foul on Hill, I believe.
Check that. You're right. It's on Malcolm Hill. Meyer reacted, and it was just with intensity. Coach Ronald Woods has been here before. Down with a little bit of a hill to climb.
He got a big hill, but these 2 free throws there are going to make tough climbing here if he makes them.
He was down, what, 14 against Flora? Came back to win it. Took him to 3 overtimes, though. It wasn't easy.
Missed the free throw.
But I think Steinbeck was in the game.
Yeah,
They can still do it. No, I'm not saying that, but
Horton back up.
Going to make it tougher.
Dixon for 3. Rolled too high, and a whistle. I think the foul is on the weak side, the rebounding side. It's on Almonte Shields. Look at this angle. Might have grabbed his hand.
Prairie Central checked out the final poll according to UPI Coaches Board, #1 in the state, #4 AP. So they and Carlisle would be the aggregate 2 favorites if we have a favorite in this shootout this weekend.
Dayton Cooper-Schmidt, 6'4.5" junior. He has a high game of 20 points and 15 rebounds on the season. Missed it.
Missed a couple of key ones there.
2 in a row missed by Prairie Central, and they left the door open for the Pioneers.
Pioneers' tempo has been slowed a little bit, though.
Backing in is Hill. He feels it now. He's got 2 in a row. Malcolm Hill turned and drilled it. A 14-point scorer on the year.
Oh, look up the floor.
Has 6. Tidwell slapped from behind. Foul on Dixon. And Dixon has really recovered from that ankle sprain nicely.
You know, both these teams, Ed, from a standpoint of 2 clubs that like to push it up the floor, really run the half-court offense pretty well, don't they?
They run the half-court offense, but I think they both play extremely good defense. But they're both a little patient on offense, the second half especially.
Assumption spends its time out. With 2:32 to go, we'll be back. Now let's pause for these messages. It's a huge house at the Assembly Hall, and when you shoot free throws, it's like standing alone on that island. And the free throw shooting is crucial down the stretch. It hasn't been very good so far. The teams are equal, 47%. Prairie Central has 4 more attempts, and they're there again.
Prairie Central missed 7 at the free throw line this afternoon.
And Gary Tidwell, 82%. That's who they pick.
Another one.
3 in a row they missed. Front ends of 1-and-1s. And the Pioneers have time and the ball.
They remember those. If that one goes, they'll
Hill
remember.
for 3 missed.
Oh.
And a foul on Bazell going for the ball. Shields sealed him away. Foul is on Bazell. Take a look at the shot by Hill.
It was short. Looks like he got him when he come down.
Scott, 59% free throw shooter. He's better than that from the field. Another miss.
Maybe nobody wants to make a free throw here.
What will it come down to? Meyer in the open court. Waits for Tidwell. Can't go that way.
Look inside.
That's Weber. That's 2. And it's a 7-point lead at the 2-minute mark. 9 for Dan Weber. A bull on the blocks.
Basil did a great job there seeing the open man.
Horton a 3 missed.
He's had an outstanding ball game.
Now let's see if Prairie Central plays the clock. Tidwell with it. Tidwell runs the baseline. Cooper Schmidt turns and finds Meyer, who tries a set shot. 3!
He did the same thing again. He stepped in and then he stepped back to get that shot.
Horton answers a 3. And at 1:22, Assumption sends in the bench. A 10-point lead as Robbie Meyer lights up the Assembly Hall.
9 3-point shots. That's 27 points at three-point range, and that's about as good a three-point display as we've seen since the rule went in down here in the state finals.
Brilliant shooting. That's Monteith Dixon. Superb player and a great year. Congratulates Prairie Central and the bench. 1:20 to play and a 10-point game. Are you surprised that he put the bench in?
In a way, but in another way, I can see what he's trying to do. I think he wants to get the young gentleman an opportunity to get in there. But if he missed the free throw that you might expect otherwise.
Watch the set shot.
He stepped in, stepped back. Beautiful.
Tidwell has another. Missed that one. Rebound by Vernon Slaughter. Now taken away. Inside, it's Bazell of Weber. And that's Artagas Williams. Williams is 33. Vernon Slaughter's in there. Armandus Fisher and Shango Knight have all come in.
I have a feeling, fellas, we're going to hear from Ronald Woods in the future. This is his last year at Assumption. He told me a few schools were interested in his coaching services. I would think so.
It just goes to show you what a gentleman he is.
Yeah.
To go with that situation and put those young gentlemen in there. He's a fine individual. Outstanding fundamental coach.
A little disappointment seen on the Pioneer bench, but boy, they've had a tremendous season.
Artagas Williams missed that one. Prairie Central by 11 the ball. Their three-point shooting has been magnificent. Tidwell is pinched outside. Meyer inside Bazell.
Good pass.
Throws it up. And out of bounds to Assumption. We're down to 52 seconds. And the Hawks get Doug Miller, 32, a 6'1 senior in. And Gary Tidwell comes out.
Gary Tidwell made a comment earlier this year. I asked him about this club in Pana. He said at that point in the season, Pana was more of a team. He thought maybe they had a shade more talent than Prairie Central. I think they've become a team, haven't they?
That's Robbie Meyer coming out of this team. Motioning to the crowd as 30, Kevin Kafer, a 5'11 senior, checks in.
23 for Meyer.
That's a great ball game.
14 is Derek Howell with the ball for the Pioneers. 49 seconds.
Do you think he'll take his tape of this ball game back to Italy?
I would.
He may have it.
I want to hear him translate Bassoni and Butkovich.
Shot by Derek Howell is down.
Well, gentlemen, I've always said expect the unexpected because it usually happens.
Foul by Howell in the backcourt. Bazell will shoot.
Currently counting 37 points out of the Prairie Central backcourt this afternoon.
44, Doug Webble is going to come on. The Hawks, Dan Weber goes out. And Charlie Strasburger's got another win in the Assembly Hall.
He's almost as tough in this place as a guy named Butkovich was. You know, Butkovich never lost here very often either.
How about Benny Lewis?
Yeah, Benny's won a couple here, hasn't he? He's St. Louis Lincoln. He is still very much alive.
I think this is Benny's home court.
I thought it was yours for a long time.
Cooper Schmidt comes out. Phil Tetley, 6-foot senior in.
You'd play them all here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Bazell missed. Rebound inside, no. That was Miller. Now Tetley. 10-point game, 24 seconds to play. And Prairie Central will be one of the final four.
Would you guess the people up at Prairie Central favor consolidation? That's a very controversial topic, but I have a hunch they're in favor of it right now.
They just took a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment. Now this from one of your network sponsors, John Deere. This building opened 26 years ago, and every one of the teams and players say it's still a thrill walking up that tunnel. We're in our first game, 20 seconds to play, quarterfinals. Prairie Central in blue, a 10-point leader over Assumption from East St. Louis. Shot Damon Mason. Rebound Vernon Slaughter. Slaughter a three. Rebound Doug Webble, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Prairie Central has advanced at the buzzer. The shot is no. Prairie Central by 10. An excellent season for Assumption. 24-8 is their final record. And that's their final game as the school closes at the end of this school year. But they go out with winning not only their first regional, but coming to the Assembly Hall.
Frank, Charlie Strasburger's kids call themselves Charlie's Army during the season. He has an Army fatigue cap. I don't think he put it on here today at the quarterfinals, but interesting story all the way along, a consolidation. And the towns mentioned, in case you're wondering, where in the world is Prairie Central? After all, this is a new name in the map of Illinois prep basketball. Fairbury, Forest, Wing, Strawn, Chatsworth, and Cropsey, all combining. The school is located in Fairbury. And Charlie Strasburger, a fascinating story, winning the state title here at Pana last season, coming right back. And I'll tell you, he's sure of the hunt right now, isn't he?
He sure is. He's one of 4, and he's going to play a couple of games tomorrow with this fine team of his. Ronald Woods goes off his 2-year record, 41-15. And we'll hear from Ronald Woods coaching somewhere along the line in Illinois, probably in the coming years. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him back in the big house again.
I'm sure of that.
Take a look at the reaction of Charlie Strasburger. Winning never gets old.
I didn't know Charlie could jump that high.
I didn't either. He didn't put the fatigue cap on.
He might be a better rebounder than I thought he was. I know he can block out on the board.
Did Butkovich ever jump that high down here? Do you recall, Frank?
I don't think so. I rolled on a floor once.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes the record for the Hawks 29-1. And they advance to play the winner of the game that's coming up. As you see, part of this huge house at the Assembly Hall. Whitehall North Green will be in the next game. They're 28-4, and they will play number 2 rated Carlisle. And Carlisle has, of course, Tom Michael at 6'8", who's coming to the University of Illinois, and a fine-looking team that's been highly rated all year.
May I ask you a question, Ed, from a coaching standpoint? What is the key to this Prairie Central ball club? You got a good look at them today. They won by 40 in the super sectional. This is a tremendously fine Assumption club they defeated out here this afternoon. From a coaching standpoint, what would you be most concerned about if you were playing them?
3 things. Defense, the boards, plus the three-pointer.
That's about the whole package, isn't it?
I think that summed it up today.
Yeah.
And their kids are not afraid to take the charge. They've got a lot of guts out there. And I hate to refer and go back to it, but I still think the key play of the game was when Tidwell took the charge early in the ballgame, and they were 5 down.
Came back, hit the three-pointer.
And I think it picked the other kids up. It picked the crowd up, I know that.
Okay, we're going to join the band from Columbia High School. It's directed by Mike Vizcala.
Score was Robbie Meyer with 23 points. Central will take a record of 29-1 into tomorrow's semifinals. East St. Louis Assumption closes the season.
We're back at the Assembly Hall, and the noise continues as March Madness moves on. If you just joined us, Prairie Central has won the opener over East St. Louis Assumption by 10, 68-58. And you're looking on the floor now at North Green as they come out preparing for the second game today. The final statistics, game one, field goal shooting hurt Prairie Central, but the three-pointers were there, 43 from the field to 43, with almost equal in shots. Free throws, look at 24 free throw attempted by Prairie Central. They shot 46%. They won the rebound battle, surprisingly, by 2. They only committed 12 turnovers to 13 for Assumption. Assumption committed 5 more team fouls. Very interesting game, very well contested game, and we expect another in just a moment. But now we're getting set to go to the floor, and here's our colleague Jim Albrecht.
Thank you very much. We are courtside again. We're talking with Ray Burglas, who is the coach of Downs Tri-Valley, of course. They made it to the Super Sectional, and Coach, you got to be proud. First time in the school's history you win a regional championship, a sectional championship. Of course, you come up shy against a great Prairie Central team, but it's got to be a good feeling no matter if you get down here or not.
Maybe Tuesday night we were a little disappointed, but other than that, we've been really pleased with our season and really proud of our kids.
What was the key to your success? It seemed to me that once you won the regional, you guys were so loose, you didn't no pressure.
We played unselfishly, we played hard, and we just thought whatever else happens is gravy, and we just played that way.
What about this Prairie Central Ball Club? We just saw a great display of inside-outside basketball. You tell me, if you got that in Class A, you may have exactly what you need.
When you have 4 guns like they do, and you can play inside or outside, in Class A, you're going to be tough to beat anytime, and they're so well coached that they're very, very disciplined.
So let me ask you, from a coaching standpoint, if you're playing Prairie Central, do you have to take a gamble? Do you say, okay, I'm going to go out tonight, I'm going to try to stop their three-point shooters and bank on maybe the inside game won't be there, or vice versa? Or do you have to play them straight up?
First, you have to get the ball up the floor against their press, which we never did. But after that, I think if you can get it into a half-court game and try to pressure their shooters and take that away, their inside players are good, but 3 points, you know, you work like crazy coming down, getting 2 points, and they, like that, they get 3 points on you, and you're behind. So you got to work on their outside game first.
Another first for your school, of course, was winning the Sweet 16 and getting to it. The first school in your conference, the Sangamon Valley Conference, to get there. So the other coaches around the league got to be saying, hey, Ray.
We have a good conference. Last year we had three of our 6 teams were in the sectional. And Octavia was in the sectional finals, so we believe we have a good conference, and that's probably one of the reasons why we were able to make it as far as we did, just because of the competition.
That is Ray Burglas, the coach of Downs Tri-Valley. Great season, 20-9. Coach, keep it going.
Thank you. We're going to try.
Okay, that's Ray Burglas, and stepping in now will be Chuck Rolinski. Chuck Rolinski, if you know anything about this man at all, you know that he is the key behind all the coaching that goes on in Illinois. He's been president of the Coaching Association. And Chuck, first of all, I want to ask you, you were one of the main proponents, you were the driving force behind the 2-class system, Class AA and Class A. Now that it is in effect, do you like it? Do you see anywhere else it could be fine-tuned?
Jim, I love it the way it is, because first of all, you saw we have probably 13,000 people here. I know there's a move, apparently, Jim, that, you know, to go with 3 classes and probably bring all 3 together. I don't like that. I like the present class we have today for a couple of reasons. One, we've got 50 schools that won't be schools next year. They'll be consolidated because of the money crisis. That's right. First. The second thing is you have to remember the NCAA is taking away the crowd next week. My proposal would be move back a week, Jim, and have the AA this week. Don't try to fight the NCAA with the great product they have. But I like the present plan. If they went to 3, I'd say go with 2 classes, you know, together. But don't play each other, Jim. Have 3 champs or 2 champs. Make it meaningful.
If you're a betting man, what are the odds on moving it back? Are there people who would be opposed to that? What do you have to do to get it done?
I don't think anybody's really thought about that yet. Maybe the IHSA has, because they're on the ball, no doubt about it. Liz and David Fry are brilliant people. They're probably thinking about it. Move it back a week, maybe start a week earlier. But I think that the coaches would be for it. The season's long the way it is, and I think, Jim, it would really work out that way, because there's no doubt about it. Lifestyles have changed. Yeah. Long the way it is, and I think, Jim, it would really work out that way because there's no doubt about it. Lifestyles have changed, and I move it back a week, maybe start a week earlier, but I think that the coaches would be bored. This season's long the way it is, and I think, Jim, it would really work out that way because there's no doubt about it. Lifestyles have changed, and I think the Class A people are the ones that are going to come to see the Double A's play also.
Let me ask you another question, Chuck Rolinski. You won over 500 basketball games. You played it when you had the ability to get off the bench and talk to your kids, and now you're playing it where you have to sit on the bench. There is talk throughout the IHSA and with all the coaches that I talk to that there's going to be some kind of box next year. What's the deal with that situation?
Jim, we need the box badly, no doubt about it. I was one of the people that fought like crazy for the present rule, not the present rule though, because we were violating it. The coaches were going crazy. They're running from end line to end line. In one particular game, I told this coach, I said, "Will you get out of my way? I want to see the game," you know, and he's coaching against me. So I think though they should put us on trial. Okay. Put the coaches on trial, Jim, and if we violate it, put us back on the bench.
Now, there were some tests made during Thanksgiving tournaments around the state. With this rule, coaches could get off the bench. I heard all went well. I heard that no one even got a technical.
That's great, Jim, because there's no doubt about it. I think it gives the referee also good leeway. If you get up and challenge him or you get out of that box, you get a tee. Now he knows when to call it, and there shouldn't, you know, we have too many variations today.
What other rules do you see forthcoming in the future? There was the three-point shot a couple years back. There was some controversy about it. Now it's in. Any problems with that?
I love the three-point shot today. Originally, I was one of the traditionalists. I really didn't like it, but I tell you, it's really changed this game, no doubt about it. You saw Prairie Central with the great outside shooting, unbelievable outside shooting. But I think the rule they have to make, and a lot of my coaching friends argue against me, the 45-second clock. We should have that clock, Jim. To me, there's nothing worse than a team getting ahead with 6 minutes to go in the game and ruining the game and holding the ball, and some teams could do it. And I think we have to have the clock.
Well, then, do you think the philosophy should be try to get the game of basketball at every level kind of on the same level, not have different rules, you know, in high school and then college and the NBA or what have you, because it seems like too much of an adjustment. It should be played straight up when you're 10 or whatever.
Exactly, Jim. I think that's a real good point. Also, I think we've got to call it closer. Class A used to be a game of skill, and double A a game of kill, because I mean it's really physical. Now we're getting the same kind of officiating for the A, and I don't like it. I don't like the way that the post people can beat each other up, and then outside you can't do that. So there are two different sets of rules. I think we should call it closer, and I think that would make the kids play a little finer game rather than the tough physical game we have today.
And you're not talking about the quality of officiating. You're talking about the way it's going right now. That seems to be a general consensus, because you have to be at least consistent no matter what.
Oh, yeah, we've got great officials today. I'm not criticizing them. They're calling it probably the way that the majority of the well, maybe the majority of the coaches want it, probably. Even though I've talked to some real good people, and they think that the reason we're having some violence in the game is because of the way we're letting them play inside. I think we ought to just, maybe the IHSA should go to a little finer rule interpretation and make them call that a little closer, and I think that's about all we really need, Jim. We've got a great game. Let's keep it that way.
Chuck, I know a lot of people have already told you this, but thanks for all you've done for Illinois high school basketball. Continued success at Toluca.
Thanks a lot, Jim. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and let's have a great Class A and Double A tournament.
Okay, we will. That's Chuck Rolinski. We're going to break away from Assembly Hall. We're back with Game 2 of the quarterfinals right after this.
This Illinois High School Association presentation is being brought to you by the Country Companies, and there are more than 900 agents throughout Illinois. You've got the country behind you. John Deere, recognizing basketball leaders, inviting you to see leadership at work with the whole new line of John Deere equipment. DeKalb Pfizer Genetics and the more than 850 Illinois DeKalb Pfizer dealers. And by the dairy farmers of Illinois and Wisconsin. Cool and refreshing milk. It does a body good.
I'm not ready.
Brad Weathers of Carlisle, congratulations on a wonderful season.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell us about your team and how you got here.
Well, we had a tough tournament road. We beat Bree Central and Nashville in our own regional. Then we had to face Pinckneyville for the third time, as well as Redbud for the second time in a sectional. Then we defeated a very good North City team down in the Carbondale Super, and we hung on to win that one with a couple of clutch free throws there as time was running out.
Describe your team for us in terms of its style and what the viewers can look for today if you're playing like you want them to play.
Well, we've got twin towers, if so to speak. We've got 6'7" Jason Peters and 6'8" Tom Michael inside. We have excellent size there. On the perimeter, we've got Scott Horner, Steve Hoffman, and Eddie Hills. All three are capable of shooting a three-pointer. We try to spread the floor on you and, you know, score from inside and out. And that shooting is probably a strength, as all five people have had games into the 20s.